Tiffany, and right now I'm in the ComicPOP kitchens, where for our very first cooking show, I thought we might take a quick stroll through Azeroth, in particular the continent of Kalimdor, where the goblins live. Yeah. They used to be on an island, but then they moved, and now they're under the rule of whoever's in charge right now. Wow, politics, it's a mess. Anyway, I thought we'd take a look at some goblin shortbread. It's a recipe that you can actually make in the world if you specialize in cooking. And now, even if you don't specialize in cooking in the real world, you can try it too, along with a whole bunch of other recipes that can be found in this book here. I just got this book, so I haven't tried any of the recipes from it. So why don't we party up and accept this quest and see how it goes?
For this recipe, you'll need a knife, a grater, a fork, possibly a spoon, a rubber spatula, a medium mixing bowl, glass or metal, whatever, a cutting board. A small one will do fine, it's just for cutting the pistachios. And you'll also need some parchment paper and a baking sheet. On to the ingredients. You're going to need 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 cup of sugar, a stick of butter, 1 teaspoon of lime zest, and a pinch of nutmeg, and then a 1/4 cup of pistachios. Alright, so after your oven's been preheated to 350 degrees, you're going to get a piece of parchment paper and line your baking sheet with it. I happen to have one that was exactly the size I needed, so I'm just going to put it down here. You know what? It'll stay when it has the stuff on it. Let's just move on. Okay, let's take a look at those pistachios. If you went to the store and you couldn't find ones that were already shelled, well, you can get the shelled ones and just pop them out and you'll have this. Dump those out onto your cutting board, and we're gonna do a rough chop. So just take the knife, just kind of roll it through them until you get something that looks kind of like this. All the pieces don't have to be even. Some of them will be smaller, some of them will be bigger. It'll be just fine. If you're not really sure about your knife skills, you could always kind of use the back of a pot and just crush them up like that. You'll get the same result. Okay, on to our limes. So I ended up having to use 2 limes in order to get my 1 teaspoon. So I just took my little grater and I went ahead and I just kind of grated all over the lime. What you want to do is avoid that white part there. That's the pith. It's not terribly delicious. Okay, let's put some of these together. Let's take our butter, room temperature, squishy, and we're gonna put it right in the bowl. We're gonna end up creaming this with the sugar. So you might want your spatula since the butter's kind of soft, and want to get it all, get all the butter. Yeah, there we go, perfect. And we'll add our sugar. There we go, right in there. And we're gonna use our lime zest, bingo. And don't forget that mixer. Didn't I mention the mixer? You're gonna need a mixer. And our nutmeg. You can use pre-ground. I have a nutmeg, so I'm gonna grate a little bit of that in for my pinch of nutmeg. There we go. Now we just grab that mixer that I mentioned just a moment ago, and you're gonna start creaming this until it looks kind of like that. Then we want to add our flour and our pistachios, a little bit at a time with the flour, because otherwise you're going to be covered in flour. So we're going to do this in batches, back and forth. I ended up doing it this way because I wanted the pistachios all through the dough. And actually, while I was doing this, I kept thinking about how cherries and lime kind of go together, and cherries and pistachios go together. So I think maybe next time I'm going to add some dried cherries to this. I think that'd be pretty good. Also, adding in batches lets you control how much you're actually adding, because there's a point here as I'm getting to the end where I realized I probably had a little too much flour in this, and my dough seemed drier than it needed to be. So I probably should have really took a look at that last batch that I threw in right there. Yep, this is pretty much the point where I have no return. So, but it's okay. It's okay. You'll see what happens next. Here we go. We're going to take the mixer out at this point. I'm going to just stir it around with the spatula, and now we're going to use, the best tools in the kitchen, which is our hands. You want to get your hands right in there and just start forming it into a dough ball. And it'll end up looking something like that. So at this point, we can clear all this stuff away, and we can bring back our parchment paper. I'm going to take that dough ball, put it right in the center of the parchment paper there, get as much of it as you can, and you're going to start flattening this out. You want to go from the center out to the edges, because you want to keep this in a circle, and your goal is to get this to be about 9 inches across. So just keep pushing it out there. There we go, and then ta-da, 9 inches. Perfect. Hey, whoa, don't take it away just yet. We still have to put our cuts in. So the recipe recommends putting 5 cuts in, but I quickly realized that I did not know how to make that work. So I just put as many as I wanted. I think I did 4 here, so just essentially whatever size pieces you would like in the end. They want you to do this now because when the shortbread cools, it's gonna be kind of more on the crumbly side or the crispy side, and you don't want it to break. Once you're done with your cuts, you're gonna wanna grab your fork and just perforate the whole thing. Once it's done to your heart's content, you wanna put this in a 350-degree oven. And then 15 minutes later, or when the edges start to brown, you'll be ready to go. Pull it out and then take your knife and just run it through all your cuts to make sure they go all the way through. Ta-da!
Alright guys, here's the moment we've all been waiting for, and I think we definitely got some XP while we were making this. Well, here we go, let's give it a try, huh? It's super buttery, and it's definitely crispy. The sweetness is perfect. The pistachios add a really great salty pop, and I love the lime. I really like lime, so for me, this is definitely the kind of cookie just for me. I really like it, I gotta tell you. I wouldn't have expected this out of the goblins. Even though I do play on the Horde, and I'm proud to be Horde, I wouldn't have expected it from them, so I've gotta give it up to those little green guys. Sometimes other colors, but you get it. I gotta tell you, you could definitely take this with you at the holidays. You really wow somebody with this kind of cookie. And you don't have to tell them that you got it from World of Warcraft, but I think it'd be super impressed with something like this. If you guys want to see more of this kind of thing, let us know in the comments down below. You know, we'll go on some other adventures out of here, you know, pick up a few more quests, try to level up a little bit, or we'll maybe pull some recipes from elsewhere. Who knows? But let us know what you guys think, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Tiffany. Bye!